Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 6.
Well, good evening and welcome to Mississippi Live Weather at 6. I'm so excited you are joining me here in the Room to Room Weather Center, and I'm even more excited to be back here talking all things weather. I know we had an eventful and impactful weekend last weekend here in North Mississippi, and we're still feeling those effects today, but I'm excited that we're back, able to tell you everything going on and still explain what to expect as we continue into the weekend ahead. So let's jump into this broadcast. We've been experiencing these breezy and frigid conditions today. That's going to continue into the overnight period ahead and even into our Sunday, but thankfully, better conditions are on the horizon. Just got to get through this chilly weekend, and then we're going to start seeing more seasonable or average conditions return here in North Mississippi. We have been talking about below average and once-in-a-lifetime events, and finally, we're getting closer to where we should be for this time of year, and I know we are all ready to enjoy it. But also, we're going to have those Game of the Week highlights coming up. We had our Game of the Week today because it got rescheduled to Saturday, so a little bit change of pace, but we have your Spirit Squad of the Week, Fan Section of the Week, and of course, those highlights coming up towards the end of this broadcast. But let's talk about weather first, and let's talk about the first 12. We're going to be starting off with these frigid conditions, 21 degrees by 7 o'clock with those mostly clear skies above. But as we continue into this overnight period, we're going to continue dropping in temperatures and eventually talk about those upper teens, 18 by 1 o'clock once we cross into those AM hours, and continue seeing mid-teens by the time we wake up and get started for our Sunday morning tomorrow. So definitely going to be a chilly Sunday morning ahead and pretty much just a chilly Sunday as a whole. So definitely want to stay layered up all day long as you go about your day. But let's take some live looks out across North Mississippi. This is out in Batesville, 21 degrees, and here's the story. Feels like 12, and that's due to that northerly wind continuing to push across North Mississippi. We've been experiencing that all day today. We'll go outside, we feel that wind, we feel a lot colder as it kind of blows across our skin. That is what's making us feel a lot cooler. That's going to continue to be the story not only tonight, but into tomorrow. And thankfully, those better conditions will continue to affect us here in our work week here in North Mississippi. But let's take another live look. This is out in Fulton. Still some people driving, getting home after a busy Saturday. 21 feels like 10. There we go, that 10-mile-per-hour winds coming out of the northwest. That is what's making us feel really, really cold outside. But also, notice how we're talking about these frigid conditions. We're kind of repeating that from last weekend, but our dew point's at 7. We're talking about a very dry atmosphere right now. We are not forecasting any wintry mix, any ice, sleet, snow. I know we do not want to hear any of those words right now. We are staying dry, and that is the good news as we continue pushing into this cold weekend. But let's take another live look across North Mississippi. This is out in Caledonia. 26 feels like 13. So that is a 13-degree difference. And there we go, thanks to those 16-mile-per-hour winds. So still kind of affecting us as we go into this overnight period. Any late night plans you have, stay bundled up because we're going to continue to get even cooler and cooler outdoors. But let's take a look with our Mama Justice Mississippi Live weather radar. We are tracking these dry conditions all across North Mississippi. I know you kind of see these blue specks and we would like to see some flurries. No, that's just that ground clutter. Usually you see it in green, but with how cold we are, that radar kind of picking up that temperature inversion, making it turn a little bit blue. So we are still talking about dry and clear conditions all across North Mississippi tonight. But if we want to talk about snowfall, it's out there, just not here in North Mississippi, especially out there on the East Coast. We can definitely see kind of the system move along the East Coast, bringing lots of snowfall out there, especially towards Virginia Beach and the Carolinas. So not really affecting us here. We are staying dry. We're also staying breezy, and that's due to that high pressure system all the way out in Texas, bringing in all that wind, that polar continental air across the country and into North Mississippi, and that's what's making us feel a lot cooler than what those temperatures are reading outdoors. But let's come back to North Mississippi, kind of look at it on the regional aspect and track what we can forecast for the rest of our evening and into our Sunday. Thankfully, a whole lot of nothing. We're just basically going to look at that cloud cover and lack thereof, try to build into the overnight period that rainfall staying out of North Mississippi, pretty much into Arkansas and Louisiana. Then we're starting off our Sunday morning dry and clear, and that is how we're going to keep it pretty much all day tomorrow. Going to be another chilly one, so stay layered up. But a beautiful forecast in store as we wrap up our weekend and get ready for the work week ahead. Let's take a look at the next 24 as we track out our Sunday. Going to be a chilly start, 13 degrees by 6 o'clock, but still those northwest winds coming out around 5 miles per hour. So probably some of us feeling like we're in the single digits or closer to 10 degrees. So definitely subtract just a little bit as we continue into our Sunday. Warming on up towards 20 by 9 o'clock, low 30s by 12, seeing those sunny skies above. And then that cloud cover tries to return just a little bit into those afternoon, evening hours, upper 30s by 3 o'clock before we're going to start talking about upper 20s during that 10 o'clock broadcast later on tomorrow night. So going to be a chilly Sunday ahead, but we want to make sure you are updated and well informed as we get ready to wrap up our weekend, but also what that work week entails, when those rain chances come back, and of course, the game of the week. We're going to be covering all of that in this broadcast coming up right after this break.
At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Caleb Edelblut.
Well, welcome back to Mississippi Live Weather at 6. Let's take a live look out here in Cleveland. 23 degrees, feels like 12. We can still see some of that ice and, well, I wouldn't even say snow, just kind of what that glaze all across Cleveland out there. 12-mile-per winds coming out of the northwest, so still seeing those effects across North Mississippi, but thankfully starting to see the better trend with those power outages starting to trend down, everyone getting their power back, so that is a good thing to see as we continue into the weekend and hoping to continue seeing that progress as well. But those frigid conditions are going to continue, especially as we track things out with our evening planner. 20 degrees by 8 o'clock with those mostly clear skies above, and we're going to continue cooling off. 18 by 11 o'clock, 17 by 2. So we're already entering those upper teens, but eventually settle out in the middle to low teens. Of course, that wind chill going to make us probably feel some of us in the low single digits as well. So definitely some frigid conditions in store. That is going to be the story. But those temperatures right now all across North Mississippi, I want you to take a look at this. This is already cold enough. I mean, we're talking about 21 in Booneville, Corinth, and New Albany, 18 Holly Springs and Senatobia, 22 out there in Tunica, 27 out there in Clarksdale. But these are the temperatures. That's what it's reading outdoors. Let's take a look at those feels like values with that wind chill. There are those single digits. We feel a lot cooler outdoors, so those layers are a necessity as you want to go outdoors later on tonight and especially later on. This is only 6 o'clock. Imagine what it's going to feel like by 10 o'clock as that sun continues to set and has been set longer across North Mississippi. So it's going to be frigid, it's going to be chilly, but thankfully better conditions are on the horizon. Just got to get through this weekend first before we can start experiencing them. So let's check out the rest of your Saturday night. This is at 6:30, still seeing those mostly clear skies all across North Mississippi. But let's continue tracking this out, seeing that cloud cover move on out of here, especially by that 10 o'clock broadcast, not really looking much at anything in the sky. Now that cloud cover is going to try to build up just a little bit in the overnight period. Not really going to be that meaningful. We're still going to see those mostly clear skies, especially by the time we wake up. Notice how it's already moving out of our area. We're going to still see dry conditions by the time we wake up Sunday, but also those chilly and windy conditions as well. Those low temperatures tomorrow going to be in the single digits for some of us. 9 in Holly Springs and South Haven, 8 in Tunica, but 12 in Corinth and Booneville, Houston, 13 Eupora, 15 out there in Greenwood, and 16 in Belzona. So on your way to church tomorrow morning, those layers definitely going to want to have them on as you get started with your Sunday. So let's track that out here on Futurecast. We can see that cloud cover starting to move on out of our area. We're going to see those mostly clear skies all day long tomorrow, even pretty much just sunny skies by the time we make it towards lunchtime. This is around 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, but pushing into those afternoon hours, some of those wispy clouds moving across North Mississippi, and then some rain chances trying to make their way back into the forecast. I'm expecting most of us to stay dry here in North Mississippi. Those rain showers are going to pretty much stay across the state line. Most of us are staying dry here in North Mississippi, but those rain chances will come back. It's just going to take until the work week until we see them. Those high temperatures tomorrow, low 40s all across North Mississippi, 40 pretty much in the Golden Triangle region in Columbus, Starkville, 40 in Louisville, Eupora, Water Valley, 36 in Etobicoke and Tunica and Cleveland, and 39 out there in Greenville. But still, main story, it's not what it's reading outdoors, but what we really feel like as we go about our day. Still taking a substantial hit as we go about our Sunday. That wind is going to definitely have an effect on us. But this is pretty much the last day where it's really noticeable. Once we make it towards Monday and definitely into Tuesday, those temperatures outdoors pretty much going to match exactly how we're feeling as well. So just got to get through tomorrow. We're going to be feeling a lot better once we make it into the work week. So if you want to go outdoors, enjoy the cooler weather, and maybe just work a little bit to make yourself feel warmer, go out hiking, enjoy the day outside. It's going to be sunny and dry all day long. 14 degrees by 7 o'clock. That is definitely not when I will be outdoors. Low 30s by 12. Still not really crossing that freezing point, but finally making it to the upper 30s by 3 o'clock and already cooling off by that 7 o'clock hour with temperatures around 33 degrees. So a chilly Sunday in store. But thankfully, we're going to start seeing those warmer conditions return. So let's come back to Futurecast. That cloud cover coming back into the forecast in your evening hour Sunday and already moving on out. Can't really make up its mind on whether it wants to stay in North Mississippi or move on out. But definitely Monday, we know it is gone and we are seeing sunny skies all day long. This is Monday morning as you get ready for your work week and go into work or school, especially for the kids dropping off. Beautiful conditions all day long. This is going all throughout your Monday, 5, 6, 7, all the way into your evening hours. Then we can start seeing some thin wispy clouds move on in, but that's us trying to look at something. We are seeing dry and stable conditions all day Monday. More beautiful conditions in store as well. So let's take a look at those temperatures. Pretty much mid to low 50s all across North Mississippi. Still talking about some upper 40s, 47 out there in South Haven, 48 in Tunica. But take a look at this, 55 in Houston and Bruce, 54 Eupora, Starkville, 55 in Columbus. Those feels like values a lot better. So not really taking that substantial hit that we've been experiencing today and into tomorrow. Those better conditions, I mean, they're a lot closer than you realize. So it'll take until Monday where we really start to feel that. And then especially into Tuesday, that's when our rain chances will return. So let's take a look at that real quick on our 7-day forecast. We can see those mostly clear skies for your Sunday, high of 37. Definitely going to feel a lot cooler than that as you go about your day. Then we warm up, talking about low 50s, finally making their way back into the forecast with those sunny skies above. Tuesday, that is going to be the day we see that rainfall. Yesterday, you saw 40% for your Tuesday, 20% for Wednesday. Imagine a 10% here as some rainfall will try to cross into midnight and maybe 1 o'clock into those early AM hours. But for right now, models are agreeing that almost all that rainfall is going to occur throughout our Tuesday. So around 50%, maybe tracking some thunderstorms and could hear some rumbles of thunder, but not tracking anything severe right now. Also, I want to emphasize that this is rain. We're not tracking any wintry mix, anything like that. We are still well above freezing. Finally seeing just some normal rainfall here in North Mississippi. Cooling off into the mid 40s for your Wednesday and Thursday before we already go back up into the mid to low 50s by Friday and into next Saturday. So beautiful conditions are in store for us, but we just got to make it through a frigid Sunday tomorrow and then better conditions for your Monday and then rainy conditions for your Tuesday. But don't go anywhere. I want to cover all things game of the week related, your fan section of the week, your spirit squad, and of course those game of the week highlights brought to you by Ethan Foster. That's coming up right after this break.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
Helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
I'm your retirement fear, but don't be scared. You're still in pre-retirement.
Does that mean I have more time to plan?
Precisely. This is pretirement.org.
This isn't scary. I'm doing it.
Welcome back to Mississippi Live Weather at 6. Let's take a look out of our Tupelo camera facing south towards Houston where our game of the week was had. I was looking at this earlier where that sun was setting. Now we are seeing those dark skies as night has finally arrived, but still 21 degrees feels like 9 out there here in Tupelo. So definitely some frigid conditions that we're going to be experiencing. Want to keep those layers on all night long and into tomorrow. That 12-mile-per-hour winds coming out of the northwest really going to make us feel that. But let's take a look at your game of the week, fan sections of the week, and your spirit squads of the week. I have those both uploaded. Let's take a look at your fan section first. Well, that already has me hyped. Very exciting to see the fans get excited as their teams play, especially with it occurring on the weekend. So excited to see that turnout. But also we have your spirit squad of the week. I know we had a tight running between them, but one came off at the very last second. Let's take a look at who won it this week. Well, there you have it. Shannon High School was your Spirit Squad of the Week for this week's running. I know I'm very excited to show you all the highlights. I had some problems downloading it, so I need to get that set up for you guys and rather get that ready so y'all can view it at the highest quality possible. So I'm going to do that in between shows. So make sure to come back during the 10 o'clock where we're going to have those. And I'm also going to be posting them as well so you can watch them back and enjoy everything Ethan Foster has to give us, because I'm very excited to show you those highlights coming up. But of course, we'll be live later on tonight. There's the QR code to download both the iOS and Android version of our app. But more importantly, like I kept mentioning, we'll be live later on tonight at 10, where I'll be covering those Game of the Week highlights and any changes we have to the forecast as more models will come out. Very excited to see those rain chances continue to kind of keep increasing with the confidence that we'll finally see some rainfall occur in North Mississippi, not talking about that wintry mix or ice. And of course, looking at those temperatures as we'll see those better conditions get closer and closer to us and start seeing those average and more seasonable conditions arrive here in North Mississippi. But I hope all of y'all have had a fantastic Saturday. Please don't get blown away with how windy it is out there. Stay warm, and we'll see y'all back here at 10.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Lawpon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Lawpon has proven himself trustworthy.